Welcome to Daily Devos. Once again this summer, we are doing At the Movie series. The movies we highlight tend to be ones that have made an impact in our culture. For me, 45 years ago, I went with my family to see a movie and we saw it together. The ticket line was around the block. We waited for hours. I remember this moment like it was yesterday. When we finally were able to get into the theater, it was packed. There seemed to be no seats available. My parents found a row with a few empty seats, but they were not together. Typically, seating was, like families. There was an empty space in between each family. But because my brother and I were young, my parents asked the families if they could scrunch together and get us a few seats together. Unfortunately, our 4 seats were not together at the end, and they were at the end of the aisle. We ended up with 2 different rows and 2 seats each. My parents sat together in one row, and me and my brother sat together. My 6-year-old self was in the row with my brother. Here I am sitting, stranger next to me, everything goes dark. I will never forget what happened next. As the movie started, everyone and everything goes quiet. As words pop up at the screen, a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. And then music erupts. Huge text reads Star Wars. At the age of 6, I am trying to keep up with the words as they scroll up the screen. They're going so fast. But everything's quiet. Stars start to move. The scene changes. Loud rumbling. Lasers start blasting. A ship appears on screen. This enormous ship appears, flies right over my head. It's so huge, I sink down in my seat. Because I was little, I was overwhelmed. I looked back at my parents for some reassurance that everything was okay. Then I looked around at the audience. Everyone's eyes are just fixed on the screen, taking in every detail. I was hooked. I was a Star Wars fan for life. As a movie series, there is a ton of great examples of good versus evil, betrayal, forgiveness, perseverance, redemption. For me, that first lesson was reassurance. In that moment of excitement and fear, let's be honest, I was overwhelmed, but all it took was one glance at my parents to know that everything was okay. They're right behind me. My parents have always been there for me as I needed them. That has never changed. God has been there. I love God's word. I especially love the book of Romans. So much amazing truth are taught in there. Edification, rebuking. But today I want to share one verse that reminds me of how I felt reassured by my parents that day, but more importantly by God every day. Even when things seem to go horribly wrong. Actually, it's more than one verse, it's 3 verses. It's Romans 8:28-30. And we know that God causes all things to work together for good of those who love God, to those who are called according to his purpose. For those whom he foreknew, he also predestined to become conformed to his image, his son, so that he would be the first among many brethren. And these whom he predestined, he also called. And those whom he called, he also justified. And these whom he justified, he also glorified. God had called us to serve him, to become more like him, his son, every day. But as we stumble through life, God is still working through, refining us. We can have that confidence that no matter what happens, he will never leave us. He's right there behind us. He is there alongside us. Thank you and God bless.